Hello guys, we are now in chapter 2 of Stick Dog Once a Hot Dog. But I wanted to talk about our characters before we get started on the chapter. Bark, ruff, shake, rumble. Alright, so our characters are Stick Dog, who was our main character, Karen, who was the dash hound with the long body, Stripes, who's a Dalmatian, who doesn't have stripes but dots, Poo Poo, who is a poodle, and Mutt, who just has all those squigglies because we're not quite sure what he actually is. Okay, so chapter 2. On this day, Stick Dog and his buddies were all at his home playing a game. Stick Dog lives in a big pipe out in the woods and sleeps on an old couch cushion. The pipe is nice and dry, and the couch cushion is nice and cushy. The game the 5 dogs are playing is called Bark. And the game goes like this. Whenever something moves, anywhere, a leaf in the wind, a bird flying by, a triceratops charging out of the forest, the first one to bark gets 5 points. The second one to bark gets 4 points. The third barker gets 3 points. And so on. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the winner. Fun game, huh? Whenever you see 2 or more dogs barking somewhere, odds are pretty good that they are playing this game. Have you ever seen dogs doing that? Do you think they're really playing that game? I don't know. We'll have to think about that now. You should try it too. Get a friend or a sister or a brother or a grandpa and play. Hold real still, and then as soon as something moves, bark real loud a couple of times. Keep score and everything. A couple things to remember. When you play this game, first, don't play it at school unless you want detention or to get in trouble. Second, when you play this game, people are going to think you're crazy. After a couple hours of playing Bark, the 5 buddies went down to the creek to get a nice cool drink of water. They walked into a shallow part of the creek, lowered their heads, and slurped away. Have you ever seen little humans drink? Karen asked the others after getting her fill. Now, Karen is a dash hound. Let's find her. Here's Karen. So it didn't take much to fill her up. Several hearty mouthfuls and her thirst was quenched. It's kind of strange. How so? Stripes asked. They used this magic thing. Mutt had now walked into a deeper part of the creek, cooling off his whole body in the slower running water. What do you mean? Well, the obvious way to drink is like we're doing right now, of course, Karen began to explain. To demonstrate, she dropped her head and took a quick lap of water in her mouth and swallowed. You know, find some liquid, lower your head, and drink. No big deal. But the way that they do it is bizarre. Mutt had risen soaking wet from the water and began to walk to the shore. How's that? It's crazy, Karen said. I see little humans do it at Picasso Park all the time. They have boxes that they shove magical sticks into. Magical, Poo Poo said. Oh yeah, way magical, said Karen. You should see them. They press their magic sticks into boxes of liquid, then put their lips around one end of the stick, and then the drink comes up. That's why it's magic. The liquid goes up. What do you think she's talking about? You put a long stick-like thing into a box or into something, and then the drink goes up. Think about that. What do you think it is? I bet you know it. Yeah, it's called a straw. It probably does look weird to dogs. It doesn't. No way, said Stripes. It does. I swear, exclaimed Karen. That's impossible. Liquid can't go up. It only goes down. Mutt said. He had reached the shore now and climbed out of the creek. Rain comes down. The creek runs from higher points to lower points. Liquids do not go up. I know that, said Karen. That's what makes the Styx magical. Now this conversation would likely have continued for some time, but by now everybody had a drink and gathered around Mutt. So they're all gathering around Mutt. Stick Dog, Karen, Poo Poo, and Stripes knew that he was soaking wet, and it was a very warm day. Ready? Mutt asked. They all nodded. And Mutt gave a lengthy and mighty shake, showering the others with water droplets that were cool and a wet mist. Oh, so we started shaking and all the water went everywhere around them and it felt really cool. Whew, that feels wonderful, Poo Poo said. And smells even better, said Stripes. Look at him shaking everywhere. Oh my gosh, look at all the things that are coming off of him. As a token of gratitude for the cooling shower, everyone helped Mutt collect all the things that had sprayed out of his fur with the water. There was a pin cap, a shoelace, a broken ping pong ball, and a Snickers candy bar wrapper. Now cooled off, the dogs relaxed. With the rippling of the creek water splashing across the rocks and against the muddy banks, it was a lovely and peaceful place to be. Until the peace and calmness were interrupted by two sounds. The first sound was Stick Dog's stomach. Stick Dog was hungry, and Stick Dog needed some food. And when Stick Dog gets hungry, his four friends get hungry too. That's just the way it happens. And here's Stick Dog's stomach making grumbling noises. It's kind of like when you're in class and your teacher is up in front going on and on about how red and blue make purple, or 3 times 3 is 9, or how neat writing is like the most important thing in the world. In fact, without neat writing, the whole future of the planet would be in jeopardy. If none of us knows how to put that little extra bumpy thing on a cursive Z, then the whole world is going to collapse under the horrible weight of bad penmanship. If handwriting isn't neat, well, that's just the end of everything. We all might as well crawl into a hole and wait for the inevitable crashing of all human life. Attack of the cursive Z! My teacher and I don't really see it eye to eye on this subject. Anyway, when one of those teachers is giving one of those lessons and everybody in class is getting a little sleepy and droopy, something happens. Do you know what it is? Somebody yawns. And when that somebody yawns, it sets up a gigantic chain reaction among all the students, and everybody starts yawning. And then the teacher turns around so nobody can see, and then the teacher yawns too. Well, that's sort of what happened regarding Stick Dog's stomach. When it started to rumble, then all the stomachs of all the other dogs, so then everybody's stomach started rumbling. But that was just the first sound that interrupted their cooling breakdown by the creek. The other sound came from something none of the dogs had ever seen before. And someone else had heard it too. Oh, and chapter 3 is called What is a Frankfurter? Do you think that's what made the sound? I don't know what made that sound. All right, guys, thanks for listening to chapter 2.